Hey guys, so before we start this video, I just want to say a large amount of you who watch these videos aren't subscribed, so make sure you guys get in there, subscribe, put those notifications on so that you know when new videos go live. Helps me out, helps you out, but we'll get new content. I'm done with this. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Alright guys, so today we're going to be looking at the Call of Duty Cold War beta, and if you did not pre-order this game and don't know this by now, the beta is out for you by the time you guys see this video. If you pre-ordered it, it's been out for a while. It's only got, I believe, a day or two left, depending on the time I release this video. So let's just get right into it, and the first thing I want to say, without going into this long, detailed tangent about the subsystems within the game, is that this is not Modern Warfare. Alright, if you go into it expecting it to be Modern Warfare, the level of detail, the sound, just everything all around, if you go into this expecting it to be Modern Warfare 2, it's not. It's not what it is, it's not what it's ever been, and I think we all knew that's not what it was going to be. So I just wanted to preface the video with that before we start to break things down even further. But enough of what the game isn't, let's talk about what the game actually is. And so while we moved out of the exosuit era of Call of Duty after Black Ops 3, and we moved more towards boots on the ground gameplay, in that Black Ops 4 era where they were still using specialists, it was still very fast, including grappling hooks and wall running and swimming underwater and all of that stuff. That's exactly how this game feels. If you put Black Ops 4 and this game right next to each other, not knowing which one was which, my first time playing each of them, I would probably not be able to tell the two apart, obviously, other than their setting. So, this game, while not a bad thing that it doesn't play like Modern Warfare, it plays much more like a typical Call of Duty game. It's much faster in every aspect except for the character movement. At the beginning of your playtime, you feel really stiff, and you will get over that as you play a little bit more, or at least I did. So from there, we will just break this down in the most simple way possible. And so first, let's talk about movement. Alright, it's not as free-flowing and fast and fresh as the exosuit era of Call of Duty was, but I would say it's a bit faster than Modern Warfare. Not much, but a bit faster. And so they have your running speed and all of that. You can jump a little high. The jump height feels a little bit weird in this one. You can slide just like in Modern Warfare. You know, I kind of wish that was a dolphin dive, but I understand why it isn't. And the sliding in this feels, in my opinion, a little bit better than Modern Warfare. I feel like you can not only slide for longer, but you have more control over yourself while you're sliding. And so I'm actually able to get a lot of kills with that sliding animation, other than just sliding around corners and blowing people's kneecaps off. So from movement, which is very important, let's talk about the actual gunplay. And like I said, this feels very similar to other Call of Duties. It doesn't have that weight and that kick of the Modern Warfare guns, but it still feels alright, like a lot of the other Call of Duties. It's fine, it's arcadey. The time to kill is up a bit. I would say it's an extra bullet or two for most guns. If you've been playing a lot of Modern Warfare, you will feel that extra bullet or two for the first couple of hours you play, but like anything, as you play more of it, you will get over that. But let's talk about something that I think is actually a step up, a large step up from Modern Warfare, and that's the maps. And so if you really like the base maps in Modern Warfare, if you like Piccadilly, if you like the Azir's Cave, all those types of maps, then maybe you won't have this same strong feeling that I do. But in Modern Warfare, 2019 of course is the game we're talking about here, just to be clear, a lot of the maps are very bland. I hate most of them. The only maps I enjoy are maps from other games that they just bring into Modern Warfare. And like I say in my Battlefield video that I did a whole 3-part thing on, maps is a big part of a multiplayer game. If I'm playing on a map that I don't like, I'm not going to enjoy playing the game. And it's more of a thing in Battlefield than it is in Call of Duty. But it carries over with every game. And so not to say that all of the Cold War maps are good, because they're not all good. The desert map, I believe it's called Satellite, isn't great. If you're not a phase tier sniper in this game, if you can't quickscope through a wall, then you're pretty much gonna get shit on the whole match. Miami is another one of those long-range maps. While I didn't do great on the map any of the times that I've played it, I really like the visuals of that map. I think that is the best looking map. And Moscow is the map that you're seeing now, and I think this is the most Call of Duty map, if that makes any sense. Very 3-lane, just straightforward. This is clearly the middle with the big circular area in the middle for hardpoint and domination. And this just feels like a Call of Duty map, right? Those classic 3-lane Call of Duty maps. And there's some other maps in there. There's the boat one they showed off a lot in all of their trailers. And that one I feel like is 50-50 a lot of the time. Sometimes it's this really tense and insane gunfight to control, you know, your half of the ship, or you gotta drive around the boat and get their spawn and flip everything around. And then other times the enemy team kind of just takes over the entire boat and you're stuck in your spawn. And not to say that can't happen in all of these maps, but I felt like it happened the most on that map. There is a snow map where you get to drive around on the snowmobiles, and it's a larger map for that combined arms game mode, and we'll get to the different game modes later. But I feel like that map is alright. It needs more cover in a lot of areas, but again, these are just some of the maps. But Alpine, which is the map you play Dirty Bomb in, and then Alpine Snow, it's pretty much sure it's the same map, but you play Dirty Bomb in that. I like that a lot. I don't think they'll use it for anything other than Dirty Bomb just because of the size of the map, but it is a really interesting and cool looking map. But from there, we've talked about movement, talked about guns and combat, and we talked about the maps. So next, let's talk about the different game modes. So we'll start with the simplest things first. You still have your hardpoint, domination, kill confirm, team deathmatch. I'm sure there'll be more at launch, search and destroy, all your typical Call of Duty game modes. I don't really need to go in depth about any of those, except for hardpoint. In a lot of their trailers, they talked about how they would show you the next hardpoint so that you would be able to move, and I really hated the sound of that because I took that as the entire minute that the hardpoint is active, you're going to always know where the next one is. And I feel that part of the fun of hardpoint is after doing one rotation of all of the hardpoints on the map, knowing where the next one's going to be and beating the enemy there and getting those few extra points while you get there early. And so this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, simply because they only give you the new hardpoint location 10 seconds before the hardpoint ends, and it takes you normally much longer to get to that area than 10 seconds. So it wasn't terrible. I still don't love it. I wish it would just stay how it was, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So from there, we have two other game modes I've talked about. We have Combined Arms and Dirty Bomb, and we'll start with Combined Arms because I believe that's the simplest to try to explain. So this is more players than your regular Call of Duty match, and this is essentially Ground War from Modern Warfare. It's just a lot of players, I believe 24 to 32 or somewhere in that range, and you just play on big maps, and you just play domination with 5 or 6 different flags. It's essentially Ground War. You play this on the snow, lake, ice map, don't know the name of it, and the boat map that they show in the trailers a lot. And again, both of these maps are just alright. The ice one really has weaknesses here and there, but they give you boats and tanks and all different kinds of vehicles for these game modes. That makes it a little bit more interesting, but so far the maps they give us in the beta aren't great for these game modes, so we'll have to wait until launch and see if we get possibly some better maps for these specific game modes. But let's talk about Dirty Bomb, and this might be really confusing if you've never seen any of the gameplay, but I'll try to explain it in the best way possible. So in Dirty Bomb, you start out in a plane just like Warzone. You drop down, parachute with your team of 4, and this game mode is up to 40 players. You land at one of the bomb sites, A through E. I just punched my computer, and so you land and you try to find chests and kill other players in order to get these uranium blocks. They look like Tesseract little green cubes, And so you collect these. You can hold up to 5 unless you find a pouch in a box. And in these boxes, you can find more than just pouches to hold more uranium. You can find self-revives, kill streak, armor plates, and yes, you do have armor plates like in Warzone. And so essentially you fill up these bombs, these bank spots, and it uses 20 uranium. So theoretically, if your whole team of 4 gets a full set of uranium, you can fill up a bomb. Once you fill up the bomb with 20 pieces of uranium, which anybody can do, you can fill in 19, and someone from another team can fill in 1, you can fill in 15, they can fill in 5, it does not matter, anybody can fill them up. Once they are filled up, then you have to hold X or square or some other key on the keyboard in order to detonate the bomb, and this is how you get a majority of your points. So you detonate the bomb, it's like planting or defusing a search and destroy. It takes time, so you can't just go in there and press a button. Your teammates have to cover you, you have to wipe all the enemies within the area. And so while you do get points for depositing uranium and killing other players, of course, you get the most points when you detonate these bombs. And so you detonate them and the irradiation spreads throughout the map. And so as you detonate them, obviously less and less bombs become available. So if after a few minutes your team detonates B and some other teams detonate C, D, and E, you know, there's only 2 objectives left now, right? And so at this point, there's 1 or 2 objectives left. Everybody's storming to that one objective. It's a big fight to see who can detonate the last objective. And then this resets. All of the bombs reset. Your uranium counts reset. You then have to refill the bombs again and detonate them all over again. This usually goes for about 3 rounds before a team gets enough points to win, depending on how good the team is. And interestingly, in this, you can't earn your score streaks. You have to get them in these boxes. So I don't know if that's a negative or a positive for you guys. I like it, but that's just me. This game mode also has tanks and cars and all types of vehicles to help traverse the map, because it probably is the largest map that they have in Call of Duty other than Warzone, obviously. And so from there, we'll talk about probably the most controversial part from the reveal for this game, and we'll move into score streaks. So if you don't know how score streaks / kill streaks work in Call of Duty, back in my day, how they worked, right, is you get X number of kills, you get the kill streak that represents that number of kills that you selected. Then they went over to score streaks, which changes how everything works. Playing objective gets you points, and of course, since they're points and no longer kills, that raises the total amount a little bit from where the total amount of kills for a kill streak used to be 12. Score streaks went up to 24, and I believe in other games it went up to even more kills. And so in this game, the whole controversial part is that when you die, you don't lose your score streaks, right? If you're on a 4 kill streak and you get your kill streak at score streak, my bad, at 5 kills, then whenever you respawn and get that first kill, you're now at 5 and you have your score streak. And so this is definitely a way to cater to the players who aren't so great at the game, and I mean, I understand that that's what Call of Duty's whole thing is. It appeals to average to low skill-based players, and not saying that there aren't high skill-based players in Call of Duty, because there are, but that's their target audience, because then they can pull in more people. And so essentially this is kind of a Titanfall idea, right? It lets everybody have fun at one time in the match, right? And that's kind of why kill streaks were invented in the first place. And so the problem with this was, I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to get 10 AC-130s in one match. But the way they fixed that is one of 2 ways. It's the cooldown, and how this works is, say you get the 1,000 points for UAV, whatever it is, and you use your UAV. The UAV has a 1-minute cooldown before you can even start earning it again. And different kill streaks, obviously the higher and better up ones have longer cooldowns, so that prevents you from getting anything really more than twice in a single game. And the other thing that is just much simpler is they raised the amount of points for each score streak much higher. UAV is equivalent to, I believe, depending on the game mode, 5 to 10 kills now. You know, you gotta get 30 kills to be hitting napalm and artillery strikes. You gotta, again, depending on your objective score, but it's just a lot more kills now in order to get Scorestreak. So I think it works out fine. I don't love it. I think it takes a little bit of the reward away from getting the kill streaks, because as long as you don't do terrible, you should get each of them once per match, but they're fine. And so from there, let's talk about one final thing, my last negative, and then from there we will kind of give an overview on the game. So like I said, there are a lot of positives, a lot of things that work really well, and not that this game is bad, it is just different. If you really like Modern Warfare because it is different, then you will not like this game. This is just classic, regular old Call of Duty. And so, to me, that's fine, that's what I expected, but there is one thing that really going from Modern Warfare to this game stands out, and the gun weight you can get over, some of the visual differences you can get over. While I do think this game looks better overall, there are definitely style differences in how the game looks. But the sound in this game, I don't know what it is, but when you're getting hit, when you're hitting other people, it's not so much the guns, but just the hit marker sound when you're getting hit and dealing them out. Some of the kill streak sounds just sound really weird and just off. For the first couple of matches, I couldn't get over the sound of getting hit. It sounds muffled. If any of you guys play Rainbow Six Siege, you know that glitch where you're in it gives you that tunnel hearing and everything's just echoey and muffled. That's what it sounds like whenever you're getting hit. And I don't know if that's how it always was, and just Modern Warfare changed that, and now it's annoying, but I cannot stand it. And so that's really my only big negative. This is a fine beta. It's exactly what I expected. I'm not going to go over the weapons and attachments and all of that because they're not all here, so we'll look at that when the game launches. But this was just a first look, quick look. Video did not come out to a quick look, but a quick look at the beta and what I think of it right now. So multiplayer, I think it's going to be alright. It's just going to come down to campaign and if zombies go exclusive to PS4. But other than that, I think we'll be alright for Call of Duty this year. Let me know what you guys think of the beta, and I'll see you guys on the next one.